Do you sometimes feel like you absolutely need that first cup of coffee just to get your brain in gear in the morning, yet somehow you still feel a bit sluggish or foggy even after finishing it? It's a common feeling, isn't it? What if I told you that this very first morning ritual, something millions of us do automatically, might actually be working against you, subtly draining your energy and clarity right from the moment you wake up? Today, we're diving into a simple but significant morning mistake that could be impacting your daily comfort and overall well-being much more than you realize. Reaching straight for that coffee pot before hydrating with plain, simple water. Think about it. After hours of sleep, our bodies haven't had any fluids and are naturally running a bit low. When we immediately introduce coffee, which acts as a diuretic, we risk dehydrating ourselves even further. This isn't just about feeling thirsty. It can directly lead to that frustrating fatigue, mental fog that makes concentration difficult, uncomfortable constipation, and believe it or not, it can even make wrinkles appear more pronounced. Prioritizing hydration first thing is truly key for starting the day feeling refreshed and maintaining your peace of mind. Take my old neighbor, Frank, for instance. He used to grumble about feeling sluggish and not quite himself until well past noon. He made one small change, drinking a full glass of water as soon as his feet hit the floor, before even thinking about his coffee machine. He later told me, quite emphatically, that it made a world of difference to his energy and sharpness all morning long. Hello everyone, it's wonderful to have you here. In this video, we'll explore exactly why this water-first approach is so beneficial and share practical tips, like the simple habit of keeping a glass of water right by your bedside. If you find this information helpful, do give the video a thumbs up. And please consider subscribing for more chats like this, aimed at helping us all feel our best. Now, let's talk about something many of us might do without a second thought: how we start our mornings. I'm talking about reaching for that quick, easy, and often sugary option first thing. You know, the sugary cereal, the pastry with our coffee, or even just a big glass of orange juice. It seems like a nice treat to begin the day, doesn't it? But here's the rub, especially for folks our age. Loading up on sugar like that sends our blood sugar on a real roller coaster ride. You get that initial burst, sure, but then comes the crash. And that crash leaves you feeling tired, maybe a bit fuzzy-headed, and often craving even more sugar before lunchtime even hits. My good friend Eleanor used to love her morning muffin, considered it her little indulgence. But she'd often tell me how she felt completely drained by mid-morning, needing another coffee just to keep going. It wasn't just the tiredness, though. Consistently starting your day with that sugar spike can, over the long haul, contribute to pesky inflammation, make it harder to manage our weight, and seriously increase the risk for conditions like type 2 diabetes. None of that helps us stay active and feeling good. Eleanor decided she'd had enough of those slumps. She made a simple switch. Instead of the muffin, she started having a bowl of oatmeal with some berries and chopped nuts. It took a little getting used to, she said, but the difference was remarkable. She now talks about having steady, reliable energy right through till lunchtime. No more sudden dips, no more feeling foggy. It's made a huge difference to her whole day. So, the simple advice here is to try and lean towards breakfast options that give you sustained energy. Think protein and fiber, things like scrambled eggs, a nice bowl of Greek yogurt with fruit, or even some whole grain toast topped with avocado or peanut butter. It sets a much better foundation for your entire day. You know, my old pal George gave himself a real fright one morning. Jumped straight out of bed like he was still 25, all eager to get the coffee brewing, and whoosh. Everything went woozy for a second. He said he saw stars. Nearly took a tumble right there by the nightstand. It really shook him up, made him think. And it's not just George, is it? That lightheaded feeling when you first stand up, especially after lying down all night, it's surprisingly common as we age. What's happening there is quite simple, really. Our bodies, well, they need a moment to adjust. When we lie flat for hours while sleeping, our blood pressure naturally lowers and settles. Then, when we suddenly bolt upright and stand, gravity pulls the blood down towards our legs and feet. Our hardened blood vessels need a second or two to react, constrict properly, and pump that blood back up to the brain. If we move too fast, before the system adjusts, the brain doesn't get enough oxygen momentarily, and that's precisely when the dizziness or lightheadedness hits. It might seem like just a fleeting dizzy spell, but the real danger is the fall it can cause. And we all know, a fall isn't just a tumble when you're over 60 or 70. It can mean broken bones, a hospital stay, a long and difficult recovery, and sometimes losing a bit of that precious independence we value so much. It's just not worth risking all that for the sake of saving 10 seconds in the morning. Luckily, the fix is incredibly simple, truly. Before you even think about standing up, just pause. Sit on the edge of your bed for a good minute. Take a couple of gentle breaths. Give your toes and ankles a little wiggle, maybe circle your feet a bit. Let your body and your blood pressure catch up to the fact you're upright now. Then, when you feel steady, push up slowly using your hands if needed. It takes barely any extra time, honestly, but making that little sit and wiggle pause part of your morning routine can make all the difference in starting your day safely and firmly on your feet. You know my walking buddy, Jane. For the longest time, she'd groaned getting out of bed, saying she felt like the Tin Man needing his oil can first thing. Those morning aches and stiffness really bothered her, and honestly, who among us hasn't felt that way? That creakiness when you first wake up. It's tempting to just push through it, thinking it's just part of getting older. But ignoring that morning stiffness isn't doing us any favors. Our joints and muscles naturally tighten up overnight, and forcing them into action without warming up can, bit by bit, reduce our flexibility and make moving around generally less comfortable, sometimes leading to more persistent aches. Anyway, Jane decided to try something simple. Before even swinging her legs out of bed, she now spends about 5 minutes doing gentle movements. Little neck rolls, shoulder shrugs, pulling one knee towards her chest, then the other. Just easy stuff, and honestly, she says it's made a world of difference. She feels looser, more ready for the day, and our morning walks are much more enjoyable for her. So, here's a little tip from Jane, and from me. Pay attention to how you feel when you wake up. Instead of ignoring stiffness, try incorporating a few minutes of very gentle stretching or movement before you even get up. It's a small change that can really help you ease into your day much more comfortably. Let's talk about mornings. How do you start yours? Because starting the day stressed is a surprisingly common mistake, and one that really takes a toll on us seniors. Think about it. You've just woken up, your body and mind are transitioning. The very last thing they need is a jolt of anxiety from grim news headlines, urgent emails, or simply dwelling on all the things you need to worry about today. When we bombard ourselves like that first thing, our bodies release cortisol, that notorious stress hormone. A little stress is normal, but doing this every single morning creates chronic stress. And chronic stress, my friends, is like pressing the fast forward button on aging. It contributes to inflammation throughout the body, can push up our blood pressure, messes with our sleep, and even weakens our immune system. Things we definitely want to avoid. My pal David, who's 72, used to be glued to his phone the second his eyes fluttered open. News, emails, you name it. He often felt overwhelmed before his feet even hit the floor. He decided to make a change. Now, he deliberately waits at least an hour. His new routine? Making a nice cup of tea, sitting by the window, and listening to some calming classical music. He swears by it now. He told me just last week, I feel so much less anxious, more centered. It sets me up properly for whatever the day throws at me. So, here's a thought. Try delaying that exposure to potential stressors. Don't let the world rush in the moment you wake. Instead, gift yourself some peace. Maybe try some gentle stretches, practice a minute of deep breathing, think of 3 things you're grateful for, or simply listen to the birdsong if you can. Ease into your day calmly. Your mind and body will thank you for it, believe me. Alright, let's talk about a couple of those little morning adjustments. Remember my neighbor, Arthur, who's about 80, always full of beans, but he told me just last week he nearly took a tumble. Jumped out of bed because the phone rang loudly, felt instantly woozy, and had to grab the bedpost. Gave him quite a fright. You see, getting up too quickly like that can really catch you off guard, especially first thing. Our blood pressure sometimes needs a moment to adjust when you go from lying down to standing up, and if it drops too fast, you get that dizziness or lightheadedness. It's called orthostatic hypotension, a fancy term, but the risk of a fall is very real, particularly for us. So, the simple trick is this. Before you even swing your legs out of bed, sit up slowly. Take a few deep breaths. Let your body adjust for a minute or so. Then, plant your feet firmly on the floor before standing. Nice and easy, no sudden movements. Another thing we often overlook is simple hydration, just getting enough water. You know, as we get older, our sense of thirst isn't always as sharp as it used to be, is it? Dehydration can creep up easily and lead to things like headaches, feeling tired all the time, constipation, and sometimes even a bit of confusion. It really affects how we feel and function throughout the day. Even being just a little dehydrated can make you feel sluggish and foggy. Take my friend Brenda, 72. She kept complaining about feeling tired all the time and having headaches mid-morning. She just thought it was age catching up with her. Turns out, she'd only have a small cup of tea in the morning and then nothing else until lunchtime. She wasn't drinking nearly enough plain water. A good habit to get into is keeping a glass of water by your bedside and taking a few sips right when you wake up, before you even get out of bed. Then, make a point to drink water steadily throughout the morning, maybe another glass with breakfast or before you head out. Don't wait until you feel thirsty, just make it part of your routine. Well, there you have it. Some thoughts on crafting a morning routine that truly serves you as you navigate these wonderful later years. Remember, the key isn't doing everything perfectly right away. It's about consistency and finding what genuinely makes you feel better, more prepared for the day ahead. Even starting small, perhaps just with that glass of water before your coffee or 5 minutes of quiet reflection before the hustle and bustle begins, can create ripples of positive change throughout your entire day and, eventually, your overall well-being. Think of it as investing in yourself, one gentle morning at a time. Now, I'm truly curious to hear from you all. What does your morning look like? Do you have a cherished ritual that sets you up for success, or perhaps something you're thinking of trying after watching this? Please do share your tips and experiences down in the comments section. This is how we learn from each other, isn't it? Creating this little community space where we can exchange ideas about healthy aging is so valuable. And if you enjoyed our chat today and want more tips on aging well, staying active, and making the most of this chapter, do consider subscribing to the channel. We'd love to have you join our growing family. You know, it took me a long time to realize I didn't need some grand, complicated routine. For years I thought I had to mimic what younger folks were doing. Then one day, I just decided my routine would be simple. Sit by the window with my tea and watch the birds for 10 minutes before anything else. No phone, no news, just quiet observation. It sounds incredibly simple, almost trivial, but honestly, that small pocket of peace transformed how I approached my mornings and, frankly, my days. It reminded me that aging gracefully isn't about fighting time, but finding joy in the present moment. Find your simple joy. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. It means the world. Take good care of yourselves, be kind to yourselves, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.